in terms of upgrades, I will be sending out updated character sheets at the end of this session because pretty much no one's made any changes. You guys have earned a few coins here or there, but nothing too crazy. At this point, Mike and Chris have 3 improvement points, and everyone else has 2. Does anyone wish to update any of their skills at this time?
Question.
Yes.
So what can improvement points be used on anything?
Improvement points can be used on just about anything that can be improved. And so that includes your skills, your stats, or if you're learning a diagram, for this is particularly applies to Sarah Lynn, Christopher, and Jesse. Those are craftsmen and alchemists. If you guys are learning a new diagram, you need to spend improvement points. Madison, if you're learning a new spell, you'll need to use improvement points. And then for everyone, when you're upgrading your skills and your stats, you need to use improvement points. And so the way the rules go, if you're trying to get to level 1 of a skill, it's going to cost you 1 improvement point. If you're trying to get to level 2, it's going to cost you 2 improvement points, so on and so forth. That is the same for all skills except for the ones that have a 2 in parentheses next to them. So for the tactics skill, has a 2. So to get to level 1, it's going to cost you 2 improvement points. To get to level 2, it's going to cost you 4. So it's going to cost you twice the amount. For stats, the ones that I said are they're kind of your inherent traits, very hard to change. It costs 10 times the amount to get to the next level. So if you're trying to take your reflex stat from an 8 to a 9, you're trying to get to level 9, it's going to cost you 90 improvement points to get from reflex level 9 to 10 or 8 to 9. So that's how that works. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Yes, sir.
So does anyone want to upgrade at this time?
Quick question, just math-wise, are profession-specific skills double point cost or not? I can't recall.
No, they are not double points. Nope.
Okay, nope. Yeah, I always just wanted to clarify on that. I'm good.
I'm gonna hold. I'm not gonna change.
I'm going to take everyone's collective silence as a no, and unless I'm wrong, we are going to move on. Okay. So, I put the... Can you guys hear Sylvie, or is that just me?
We can hear her, but it's
She's
cute.
We can.
She just wants to participate.
She's
yeah,
more
I'm not-
interesting than you anyway.
I
She
totally
has a
agree,
lot to
yeah.
say.
She's like, screw this GM, I'm taking over this game. So where we were, you guys discovered the alderman in the basement of this mysterious mage's house after some further investigation. In this mage's house, you guys found a table that was filled with magical artifacts, including an incubator and some things used to help breed monsters. Christopher used his Witcher savvy to identify some egg fragments in this incubator as belonging to a lapistray, which is a giant lobster-like crustacean monster that lives in rivers, and shards of another egg for a creature which is unknown to you. Conversation with the alderman, who you guys left, I believe you left tied up in the basement after feeding him a meal that you stole from his own house. This conversation informed you that the mage that owns this house and the mage that's been dwelling in this house put a monster across the river for some unknown purpose, and then also bred what you guys now know as lapistrays to keep this monster on the other side of the river. Other than that, you don't know anything about this mage's motives and what this other monster might be, and that's where you guys are. And Michael has a leg.
Oh yeah, we're gonna use the leg
That I
bait.
do.
So to give you guys some context, you guys can access the map. You guys are right outside house number 3, which is the mage's house. You guys can go wherever you want. At this time, it's probably about, I don't know, maybe say 2 in the afternoon. It's late after, or it's mid afternoon. So you guys still have a couple hours of daylight left if you want to try to accomplish something.
Just to clarify our previous session, we established that the attacks from the other monster were occurring on the one that's still a mystery to us on the road, like as if heading towards what was it, Talad's, like right in
Correct.
that area. Okay.
Yes, that's where the attacks have been, and so the presumption is that the attacks on the road were caused by the second monster and not the Lapistries. And the monster which has been causing these attacks is what the contract has been put out on.
Thank you.
Oh, I believe before we left last time, we were kind of slowly creating a plan to figure out what this monster on the road was by using the leg as bait.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that?
I think it's a great idea.
I still think we should probably try to figure out what this second mystery is before we commit to whacking the first one.
Agreed.
Maybe we should use the dwarf as bait.
Or the
Live bait's always better.
Is that
I don't know.
true?
Dwarf's really the only one that did anything in the last fight, so maybe we should.
Hey, I blew a guy's leg off.
Barely.
Took you a couple tries.
Hey, I'm old.
So, shall we try to make a little investigation of this second critter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I vote we head over to the general vicinity of where the attacks have been reported.
Let's do it.
On the road again.
So you guys, as a party, leave the mage's house and head out of the village the way you came, I presume. I mean, you guys don't technically have the full map, and so to get to the road to Lodz, the real only way you know is back out Millik the way you came. So you pass by Moralka's house. She looks up from cutting the verge, sees Zoe and blushes, and sees Phyrra, and then kind of gives a little yip and runs back inside. She's still a little traumatized by the emotional hurricane that you brought upon her.
I shoot her a look.
What kind of look do you shoot her?
Just a shaming look. Like I know what she did.
The look catches her in the back of the head. She's too scared to look you in the eye.
Ha.
Should be.
You guys continue out of Millik and reach the crossroads. Now, for such a small town, Millik does sit at a pretty important confluence of roads. You see one continues down south to the borders of Temeria, where the Nilfgaardian army was recently beat back from the country of Sodden. To the west, the western road leads on to the country of Sidaris, which is a pretty prevalent trading country, and then north goes to the city of Gorsvelen, and back up to Redania the way you guys came. And so the road to Lodz is south of here on the crossroads. But as you approach the crossroads, you notice a man sitting on a stump, appears to be smoking a pipe. Just kind of sitting there.
A human.
You'll need to get a little closer to figure that out.
So we walked closer to the guy.
I'm gonna need you to pass an awareness check.
We're judging.
Anyone or specifically Mayor?
Well, Mayor's asking, but I mean, if you guys, anyone can roll it. because you guys are all kind of standing together.
How does that work again? Which skill?
Well, I got a 1, so that didn't go great.
As Jesse gets a little closer to this guy, he just straight up trips and falls into the mud. So Jesse can't figure out anything because he's still
What skill do we need?
Just still drunk from this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary's trying to learn. Mary suggested that we learn a little bit more about this figure, and I asked her to do an awareness.
Can I do an awareness?
I mean, you guys will get the same information, but yeah, there's no real restriction. You guys are. I mean, it's basically you guys are walking up to this guy. So as you get a little closer, I'll take Madison's roll as the highest because it doesn't matter. It's not very hard to discern that yes, this man is indeed just a regular human. And as you approach, he sees you, and he smiles and he raises his pipe in a little salute. Says, "Who are you then? Doesn't look like you're all from around here." Well, it looks you guys like to stand and stare. That's for sure.
Howdy.
How's travelers?
Where are you from, Howdy? What kind of a weird parlance is that?
Short people town.
Look, this area is not safe right now. You might want to make yourself scarce.
Oh, I'm very aware it's not safe. That's why I'm up here and not on the road to Lodz. I would very much like to get to Lodz. That's where my brother lives, but alas, I've heard the road's not safe, and it appears I'm trapped here for right now. Who are you? What are your names?
I'm Dame Zoe, the murder elf.
Dame Zoe,
The
fine,
murder elf.
the murder elf. That is a humdinger of a name you have there.
The druid Beetlejuice at your service.
Ah, Skelliger. I always get along with a Skelliger.
And your name, friend?
My name is Dindrik. It's very nice to make your acquaintance. So, by the look of ye, I see what appears to be a witcher. He kind of gazes to the back of the party where Riggs is standing, I assume kind of disapprovingly.
Yeah, I just grunted.
I assume you're here to kill the monster on the road to Lodz. Am I correct in that assumption?
I'm here to kill the
You have a
monster.
yappy dog in your presence.
I'm here to kill the monster. I don't know what these people, they're following me.
Well, from it appears you're following them, Mr. Sulky in the back, and he taps his nose and winks.
Mm.
You know anything about the monster on this road?
The only thing that I know that is that it's killed pretty much everyone who's tried to cross the road. Now that's not saying a lot. There's not a lot of through traffic to Lodz. It's a pretty barren village, as is Millik. Not a lot of people want to go that way. The last person that did, well, we didn't hear from him again. He kind of looks down sadly and takes a consolatory huff of his pipe.
Know him?
Well, I only knew of him. He was a friend of my brother's. I got my brother sent mail the long way, all the way up through Gorsvelen and down again towards Sedaris, where I'm from, and said that it was no longer safe to come and visit him unless I wanted to go all the way up to Gorsvelen and down another road. And to be honest, it's a tough, difficult road, and I just don't love my brother that much to make the travel. And he kind of chuckles. So I'm here in Millik until the road clears up, and it seems like you guys might be the ones to do it.
Yes.
Oof. Yeah. He chuckles again. I might not be able to pay you in gold, ma'am, but I have other things I might be able to pay you with. See, I'm a collector of sorts. I collect valuable and rare objects from all over Sedaris. That's why I'm it's another reason why I'm coming down this way. Is you find a lot of valuable things in the wake of battle. In the Battle of Sodden Hill, I'm sure there was lots of magical artifacts left behind if you know where to look. He kind of taps the side of his nose. Maybe I'll bequeath one upon you. In fact, he looks at Riggs. I happen to have in my possession several Witcher blade oils that I've stowed throughout the years that maybe might be able to help you in your fight against the monster, but only if you know what kind of monster it is.
Well, what can you do? You said you didn't know much, so are you hinting that you know more? I don't.
Oh, certainly not, sir. I'm saying I don't want to get anywhere near the monster, but if you would like to, perhaps I can give you something to assist you should you obtain more information. You're a lot bigger and stronger than I prefer not to do the legwork myself. And he kind of chuckles and smokes on his pipe.
Maybe you could come with us.
Perhaps I could. Now, that being said, I would like to maintain a safe distance from any potential trouble. I'm not much for trouble. I like to collect my artifacts and go in peace. But you know what? It's been a while since I've had a good adventure. So yeah, I think I will come along. And he taps his legs and kind of dumps the rest of the smoking pipe weed on the ground and hops to his feet. And he has a kind of a medium-sized travel bag that he throws over his shoulder and looks merrily around and says, "Well, who's leading?"
So then it would behoove you to tell us everything you know.
Oh, ma'am, I've told you everything I know. I know that it's dangerous to go on the roads, and that's why I don't want to travel the roads. That's all I know.
Lying bastard.
Come. We've gathered enough here. Let's head on down the trail and keep our eyes peeled.
Sounds like a plan to me, Master Druid. You seem like a fine, if not slightly inebriated fellow.
Beal just burps and then stumbles down towards Lods.
All right, so the now 8 of you continue south on the road. This Dindrik is a merry fellow. He seems to like to whistle a lot. He finds himself in the back of the party. He doesn't seem to be too keen to be in the front of the action. And Riggs doesn't seem to be, well, from his point of view, Riggs doesn't seem to be too enthused about him walking next to him. But as you guys continue on the road, there's a sign posted in the middle. As you approach it, it says, "Beware all that continue here." Very ominous.
Ooh, spooky.
Insert "well, I can't read" meme.
I have a question, GM. So if I wanted to, as we're just kind of like parsing out what skills are what, if I wanted to be sort of keeping my eyes peeled for any sort of tracks or torn branches or anything to like any kind of clue on the trail, could wilderness survival be applicable there, or would that have to be awareness?
It could absolutely, yes. So wilderness survival plays a little bit kind of like awareness, depending on what you're doing it for. So if you're in the woods and you're at this point, you're kind of tracking a monster. Wilderness survival would afford you certain notices. Yes.
So could I roll a wilderness survival check as we're sort of walking through here to see if I spy anything of that nature?
You absolutely may.
Whoop.
So at the sign, Beetlejuice stops and focuses his decreasingly blurry vision to get some information.
Not rolling well tonight so far. So that was a 2.
You have a base 15 plus 2, that's 17.
Yeah.
And so it's not, again,
It's not
Beetlejuice
great.
is still not in the greatest presence of mind, but as he looks around, he doesn't see any telltale signs of creatures. So no tracks, no droppings, no broken branches. So far, the road seems pretty unadulterated.
I would also be looking for like monster tracks or anything like that.
All right. Do you want to roll?
Only if you think there's if you're saying there's more to learn, then yes, I would love to roll.
I'm not saying anything. It's up to you.
Okay, so I will then do. Is it awareness?
You can do either. It's gonna. I mean, there's possibility of giving different information.
Or Witcher training.
Witcher training is more. So Witcher training is like using what you already know. So if you lifted some information from the environment, you would use Witcher training. Think of it as kind of like almost a counterpart to deduction or human perception. You're taking what you already know from the environment and learning more about it from your repertoire of knowledge. It's stored away in that.
So then I'll do awareness. So
okay, roll for it.
18 plus 5 is math 23.
Okay. As you all continue on, and at this point you're fairly close to where the ferry across the river Adelina used to once stood. Riggs has very good hearing, and he hears something kind of interesting in that the forest seems quite a bit more silent than it was back up towards the crossroad. So there are birds and there are insects chirping and whatnot, but it seems like it's quieted down a little bit. Things seem a little stiller here past this danger sign.
Can I try to deduce something from
that? Sure, yeah.
Can I use Witcher training to think of like what would be causing this?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be 16 because it's intelligence, correct? Is Witcher training?
Right. Uh-huh.
So 16 plus 9.
21.
Yeah.
From your past experiences as a Witcher, you know it's got to be a pretty powerful monster if it's going to scare a majority of woodland creatures into being silent, especially birds and insects. I mean, usually they don't really care what's going on too much. So whatever this is, it likes to kill indiscriminately,
but it's afraid of lapis strays.
Well, yes, it is.
That's got to be some sort of like combination I can put together there. That it scares all these things, but this thing it wouldn't scare.
Yes. So you're in the back of your Witcher mind. You seem to recall a monster that's pretty much only legend. As a Witcher, it should be said that many monsters in human legend turn out to be real or almost a bastard truth. You know, children's tales have a grain of truth to them, but that doesn't make them in and of itself true. But you seem to recall a legend of a beast called a Berberoka that dwells amongst the riverbeds hunting humans, and its only fear really are crustaceans, and it's almost too weird to be true, which makes you think that it isn't. However, in this scenario, you scratch your head and say, this is a creature that likes to kill, that's afraid of lapis strays. Perhaps we're onto something here.
How do you spell that?
Berberboka.
Berboka.
Yeah. Berber, like almost like Gerber. Berberoka. OKA.
Berberoka.
Berberoka.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So is that all I would know about that monster?
I'm gonna make you roll another. I mean, that Witcher information was based off of what you just discerned from the environment. If you want to try to recall more about that, you have to roll another check.
Okay.
You roll like monster lore or something.
You can roll monster lore and Witcher or training are interchangeable here.
I rolled a
okay.
1.
All right, so roll again to subtract from your Witcher training. Fumbles are possible here.
So 16 minus 3 would be 13.
Okay. Despite your remembering of this kind of perfunctory information about Berberokas, you fail to recall anything else.
Cool.
All right, so that was all kind of just musings and observations made by our adventurers as we wander on.
Yeah, I'll
Dindra.
pass that information on to just out loud.
Okay.
Thank you, good sir.
Dindrik looks appraisingly at you and says, we have a man of intrigue here. It's been many years since I've heard tales of Berberokas, children's tales, as I recall. What kind of monster kills humans but is afraid of lobsters?
Do you know anything more?
I know what they say in the tales, and I know that they live near water. I've thought it could be a Berberoka, but to be honest, I've been too scared to find out. But do seem to recall something else. Let me think. And he sucks on his pipe and says, they do. What was that piece of information? Give me a second. Well, I'll think of it.
So, have we passed the riverbed completely at this point?
No. So you guys at this point, while he's kind of pondering, I mean, he keeps on walking, as do the rest of you, and you guys approach the riverbed. And so it is. This is a much wider part of the river and deeper. So you cannot ford it as you did up north. Now, the banks of the river are rather high, so there's a slope down to the riverbank, and there is a ferry. The only problem is that the ferry has no ferryman, and it appears to be somewhat damaged. So there's a couple chips and scrapes, but you guys can't really see the extent of the damage from this far away. It's just what it appears at face value.
Adelina, do you think you could bring that ferry back to working order?
I don't know. Maybe.
No,
Is that something that I can do, Mike?
Yeah. Why don't you? So you kind of walk up to the riverbank and take a peek at it, and you notice that the damage does seem to be repairable. So I'm going to have you roll a crafting check to identify the damage and see what you can do.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of, you're a good craftsman, and it appears to be a pretty rudimentary ferry, so hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. So you're not just any old craftsman. You're a great craftswoman. I apologize.
I think it's a yacht now.
So the rest of the group is standing around you, and you are peering at the ferry, and you are stroking your Adelina chin and looking side to side, and you kind of figure that this thing is pretty buoyant and probably won't hold all of you, but if you manage to have some people help you break off some branches from nearby trees, you can probably just lash them on and fix the damage.
Cool.
So while she's doing that, I would like to sort of just examine along the riverbank and see if I can't spy any kind of crayfish or crab or anything vaguely crab looking, and see if I can't catch something.
Okay, so just to describe the topography here, you guys were on a trail that was probably maybe, I don't know, 10 feet above the riverbank, and then there's a pretty sharp drop off, and then the bank runs maybe 5 feet before you get to the river itself. And it's here where this ferry is kind of beached, and so you would be walking directly alongside the river. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to walk upriver or downriver?
Let me look at our map here. What was that, Blast Pit?
Seems a bit risky.
I think is there anything that I can do with my bow? Like maybe I'll have Jesse's back, and I don't know if it's like a tactics thing, but I have a bow and arrows, so maybe I can.
You can go with him for sure.
Okay, all right. I'll go with you, and I'll use my.
Yes, I don't want to. I'm not going too far, Bill. I kind of just want to like go down to the water's edge and very carefully see if I can't find anything.
So you're not? Are you saying you're not really going too far away from the craft? You're just appearing around the water.
Yeah, just looking in the immediate vicinity of it.
All right. If you'll have to rely on your wilderness survival to get.
While they're doing that, I'm going to do some monster fishing. I'm going to take my 20 meters of rope and tie it around my human leg and throw it into the.
God damn it! I have rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3 in that order. Ugh. All right, so that's a base 15, so that's 18 of wilderness survival. Looking for any kind of crayfishy looking critter.
So you know enough about the wilderness to know that crayfish and other such riverbound crustaceans typically hide under small rocks, and you flip over a few, and a crayfish does dart out suddenly.
I want to catch it.
You catch it. All right, you're gonna have to roll another wilderness. You're gonna have to. Actually, you know what? That's gonna be that is gonna be a simple dexterity check.
Okay.
So just roll 1d10, and it's going to be on top of your dexterity.
Gotcha. So that would be. Give me a better roll than I've been getting. 5 plus.
Pretty easy.
11.
Even for our slightly inebriated Beetlejuice, he reaches out and he grabs the crawfish.
I'm just trying to gently and then I'm gonna stuff it in a pocket and keep it for later.
Okay. Now, Adelina, what are you doing while Jesse's fishing for crawfish?
I'm fixing the thing.
So you notice that you need wood. So again, you're gonna have to go get some wood.
I'm gonna go and get some wood.
Okay.
Can somebody come and help me?
I'll come help.
To get the best wood, you're gonna have to rely on a little bit of your wilderness survival to pick out which wood is probably dry and sturdy as you're kind of sifting through these woods.
Okay.
Okay, so you wander into the fringes of the woods by the river, and you manage to find a few really nice, sturdy branches that you can use. Christopher, did you go with her?
Yes.
If you'd like, you can also look for some sturdy things.
And what role would that be? Awareness?
It's going to be wilderness survival.
Wilderness. Which one is that under?
That's under intelligence.
Cool.
So
like that would be 6 plus 12, so 18.
Okay. So you find right next to Adelina, you kind of do a little flex because you find some even better wood. You also find some kind of like fresh vines that can be used to lash some stuff together.
Okay.
It might make it a little easier for Adelina to repair this craft. So you take that back, and Adelina, if you wanna fix it up, you're gonna have to roll another crafting check.
Got it.
Okay, so that was your crafting acumen is unparalleled. You'll be able to fix this in probably a couple minutes, but not immediately. So while that's going on, You guys noticed that. So that was all happening while Jesse was doing his crayfish excavation with Zoe by his side. And as Adelina and Riggs are coming back with the opportunities, Dindrik, who this whole time has kind of been sitting up on the top of the bank, smoking his pipe and sitting on a upturned rock, kind of gets up and points. There's been a splash in the water upstream, probably 100 meters away.
Oh, that can't be good.
Well, how big of a splash?
Well, why don't you ask Dindrik?
How big of a
Was it
splash?
in, like,
You guys might call me crazy, but I swear I just saw something get in the water over on that side of the river. Looked like a big rock.
Iroh, I'm thinking maybe you should pull that rope in.
all right, I'm gonna pull my leg back in. No bites.
Zoe's gonna run back to the top of the cliff to have a better vantage point for any arrows that potentially need to be fired off.
Dindrik's kind of he's using his pipe as a guard to look around. He's like, I don't see anything. Does anyone else see anything?
I'm looking out at the water, trying to see if I can catch another splash.
So is Minka.
All right, you guys can roll awareness to see if you see anything more.
Riggs will look as well.
10.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys all look simultaneously. And
4.
Yeah, Riggs got a 25.
okay. So you guys are a pretty hyper aware party, and you guys I'm taking away a few from Sarah and Riggs because you guys were in the midst of looking down and repairing this. You guys also don't have the best vantage point. But Riggs has really good hearing as well, and he doesn't hear anything really moving around in the water. Minka doesn't know anything from her vantage point, but Zoe has a better vantage point. So Zoe, do you want to? Yeah. So Zoe is going to roll as well while she's up there with Dindrik. And
I'm still petting my pocket crayfish.
yeah, so you're kind of caught. Well, so it'll actually take Zoe a second since she was down with you. So just kind of going by time. You all don't hear anything, but while Zoe's trying to run up for a better vantage point, you guys all have kind of a second to react. So Michael took his second to reel in his leg fishing line. Is anyone else going to take this time to do anything? You have a couple seconds to react.
I'm gonna arm myself.
I'm gonna draw
with
my sword.
Stiletto.
I'm gonna put away my new pet and pull out my stick.
I too will draw my sword.
This is more humans, yeah.
I
Tactics
get in a
is smart.
defensive stance and ready to cast a spell if needed.
Okay.
In formation, Adelina.
What two-person formations are there? Please tell me.
Kind of you stand in not back to back, but in a diagonal to each other, so that you kind of cover each other.
Wonder Twins unite.
This is a load of horse crap.
So at this point, Mare has reached the top of the thing and looks around and tries to follow Dindrik's eyes and is going to roll an awareness check. Okay. So she sees that whatever is in the water, it's moving towards you guys and it's moving fast.
Oh crap!
So at this point, it's probably maybe 30 meters out at this point. So you guys still have a few seconds to compose yourself before whatever happens.
Its weakness is dry land, so get it out on the dry land if we can get it there.
I would like to scramble up and away from the bank and back up
Yeah.
with everyone else.
I'm gonna try to form some sort of noose that I can throw and catch things.
I'm gonna put a throwing knife in my throwing hand.
Mistake.
Is that allowed, Mike? Can I do that?
Sorry, Mara was talking. What did you say, Mike?
I was gonna try to form some sort of lasso / noose I could throw. And
I mean, it's allowed for sure if you want to.
yeah, pull it up on land. Why not?
So, maybe Riggs didn't communicate how big this lobster is. It's not just a slightly large lobster. It's probably a 15-foot long lobster-like crustacean monster.
Alligator sized.
Well, maybe that was my initial plan, and then I kind of put it away and ran off.
Everybody.
Okay, so Zoe took her turn to do her awareness. It sounds like Jesse's running up. Who else is running up on the bank?
Me.
I'm getting in good position to be able to throw a throwing knife.
Okay. Are you still close to the river, or are you on the top of the bank?
I'm gonna go up to the top of the bank to get the advantage there.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold ground.
Okay.
Because we should be able to see it swimming like the wave or the ripples in the water, right?
So the water's still pretty deep. So you can't, from your vantage point, you can't see the ripple and you can't see the monster just because of the refraction of the light. But from Mare's high up vantage, she is able to see it, and she shouts down that it's closing in fast. But just because of the angle, you guys can't really see it from the bank.
Should I? Thanks.
What?
Yeah, I'm in and out.
Mare wants to know if she should try to shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a bow?
Yes, she does.
And arrows.
Yeah. All right.
That's good that you have both.
Go ahead. All right. I'm gonna take a shot at strike.
Sorry, I missed what Saralyn. Saralyn, what are you?
I'm taking a little step away from the water, so I'm not in it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, I'm just gonna place you guys kind of behind the ferry, but still on the water's level, not up the bank, and everyone else is kind of scrambled up the bank. Meredith is starting to draw her weapon. Riggs has his weapon drawn. So
Minka has a throwing knife in her hand.
Minka has a throwing knife, and the creature at this point is probably 30 yards away.
Can I? It's just one creature.
That's all you can see. Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out my cleave.
All right. Well, so hold on. So at this point, we're gonna have to do a few things here. So give me a second to get situated, because the creature's close enough that you guys can't really get away, especially with Riggs and Adelina holding position.
Well, according to Riggs, we're not even a group, so I think we could.
Mare, just according to combat rules, will be the first to be able to shoot something off. And so let's see here. All right, so her bow has a distance of 100 meters, and it's within. Okay, so you're not going to get any plus or minus modifiers from how far away it is. You don't. I think you have time to. Yeah, you have time to aim at a specific location, but only one location. Do you want to try to shoot at any? I mean, this thing kind of just looks like a blob, but it does have a front and a back. Do you want to try to shoot anywhere particular? Okay. So that's going to be. It's just the general front. Front is going to be a minus 3 penalty. Right. So I'm going to roll. See if Mare hits this thing. So this is going to be Mare's roll. 8. Ooh, very nice. And then this enemy, which we probably a Lapistray, but we will certainly see. We're gonna here. So Mare shoots off her bow. Oh, come on. Sorry, technical difficulties here. Okay. This thing is pretty agile. It's also in the water, so that makes it a little harder for you to see it. But because you passed such a high awareness check, you're also very aware of where it is. So, all right. So this thing can't really do much else except for just try to dodge out of the way. So let's see if you hit it. Oh wow. So yes, it's a very high number. All right. So unfortunately, babe, your your arrow looks well shot, but this thing is moving just a little too fast, and your arrow misses. So now we're gonna roll. It can move up to its 3 times its speed per turn, and so not only does it get missed, not only does the mare's arrow miss, but the creature finishes swimming. It's very, very fast, and it emerges from the water very close to Riggs and Adelina, probably 5 yards away. So a little out of sword range, but it emerges, and it is a Lapistray. Alligator-sized lobster, brown in coloring, very ferocious looking. The interesting thing about Lapistrays is they're able to stand on their hind legs for brief periods of time as a scare tactic, as a territorial threat display. And so that's what this Lapistray does. It stands up and briefly waves its claws around and clashes its pincers, but it doesn't charge forward. It just gets out of the water. What?
So we've confirmed it's a Lapistray.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's out of the water, and it's.
So yes.
I mean, you guys suspect, but Riggs knows, and I'm telling you because it's out of the water, and we've done enough research that you know what it is. And it doesn't charge forward. It just stands there in a territorial threat display.
Everybody, stay calm. Stay calm.
Maybe Riggs can do something.
Yeah, can I take a stab at it?
Oh,
You want to take a stab at it?
Or do something like more retreat.
No. Calm. Gently. Step back slowly.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
It hasn't.
right.
So you guys, this is happening within seconds, but it hasn't really moved from its threat display.
I'll kind of like maybe put an arm out in front of Adelina and just say, kind of steady. It's just territorial.
Clupp, I would like to try to cast Friend to Wild Kind.
Okay. Remind me.
So
exactly what that does.
if my it will give +3 to wilderness survival when handling animals, and if my dice roll exceeds its 3 times the creature's will, it is calmed.
Oh.
This isn't really. So that's more specifically, like if we're talking monsters, there's beast type monsters, so that would be like horses and wolves and things that are typically monsters, things that didn't come here with the conjunction of the spheres. Unfortunately, you can try, but you know druidically that it's probably not going to work.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I'm still going to be urging calm and slowly, like, kind of like stepping backwards.
So is
Just
gonna
chilling
move?
there.
Yeah.
No, the Lapistray hasn't moved. Madison, what are you going to make a move?
Madison?
You're muted, babe.
Can't hear what you're saying. Try leaving the call and rejoin. She's a smart lady.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, had to, I guess, do something. How far would you say the Lapistray is from me?
From you, did you scramble up on the bank?
I kind of didn't scramble, but I didn't stay down there.
So you're halfway up, probably like 10, 15 meters from you.
Guess I'm gonna try and set this thing on fire with my Aenye.
With your fire spell?
With my fire spell.
I love the confidence.
Yeah, I know. All right, so 1d10.
What was your? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. 7.
7. So that's going to be 22. Very high. All right. So
I'm hoping that hits.
Now remind me, what is the range on
12 meters. That's why
12
I
meters?
asked.
Okay, so you successfully cast it, and the Lapistray doesn't try to get out of the way because it's still in the midst of its territorial threat display.
Okay.
So there's a burst of fire, maybe just 2 yards in front of the Lapistray. And it is so startled that it falls backwards on its bipedalness, and then is kind of, for a second, it's stunned. It's kind of on its little hind legs.
So it doesn't hit it. It's just
It doesn't hit it, but you set a giant fire in front of it, and you startled it, and it flipped over. So now it's in prone position. It's immobile, and it's on its backside. Yeah.
I'm gonna use this moment to jump in and try to chop off one of its legs with my cleave.
What's with your legs?
What the heck?
Hey, if it can't run away, we can kill it.
He has a fetish.
Yeah.
I would like to shame him as soon as this fight is over.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it falls over, it can't move, it's easier to attack, and then if we take off a leg, it can't get away, and we're trying to get rid of this thing to begin with.
You're not wrong. Okay. So Ozai is going to take over. You're going to do an attack.
And I'm pretty fast, so I feel like I should be able to get there before.
Yeah, you can move up to your speed in movement, which for you is 7. So I think you can move. I think you can either move up to 3 times your speed, or it's just up to your speed. So actually,
my run is 21, so I don't know what that means.
Right, your run is 21. Give me 1 second. Let me just clear up on this, because this is the first time we've really used distance. This is why it's a tutorial.
Is this like the beta version?
No, this is just me trying to have 400 pages of rules memorized. And sometimes it's I have to remind myself of the nitty-gritty of what you can and can't do. So I like to keep it. Yeah, so you can do move up to your speed. So it's based off your speed stat. So you're probably not. I think Riggs and Adelina are probably the only ones close enough to actually get to it at this point. You could get very close. So if it's still flipped over on its next turn, you'll be able to get to it.
All right.
So you're gonna run towards it.
Yeah, make sure my cleaver is ready to go.
Okay. All right. So I guess that brings us to you, Minka. You have a move before anyone else gets to go again.
I'm gonna throw one of my knives.
Yeah, throw one of your knives. All right. So this thing is, I think we've established you guys are all pretty much just 15 away, except for Riggs and Adelina, who are probably 5. So go ahead and roll a 1d10.
Hold on, I can't. Okay, yeah. Oh, I did a 1-die-1. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on.
Oh, geez, I thought that you just.
Yeah, chopped it on your foot.
No, 9. That's much better.
9. Nice.
And
Okay.
small blades, 15 plus 8 is 23.
Nice. Yeah, you said you have small blades of what?
I have small blades of 6.
Yes, you do. Okay, so and then your dexterity is 10. So you actually have you have very high. So this is basically only based off of its defense check, which because it's immobile right now, it literally just can't move. So so you hit it. So roll a 1d6 to see how much damage you do.
Okay. 2. Do I get any bonuses on that?
So next you're gonna roll a 1d10 to figure out where you hit it.
Okay. $10.
10. So you hit it in one of its creepy little lobster legs. So unfortunately,
Did it fall off?
What?
Did it fall off?
No. So if it had been anywhere in the torso or head region, right now it's on its underside, so none of it's armored. But you only really do 1 damage, unfortunately. Okay. So.
But it distracted it.
Well, yeah, you heard it. So there is that, I guess. All right. So now, Zoe, it's back to you, and then it'll be to the rest. So what do you want to do, babe?
I'll try to fire. Is this one's back?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna try to fire another arrow at.
Okay. So Zoe's gonna fire another arrow. I'll roll for Zoe. 4.
Boo.
Well, that's pretty good. There's no way it can exceed that, so you do hit it. So let's figure out how much you do. So you do 3d6 plus 3 with that bow. 114. All right, not as much as you could have hoped for, baby. That's 6 plus you do 9. Strike type. All right, let's see where you hit it. 3. So that is torso. Very nice. And since it's on its backside and you hit an underbelly area, you're going to do twice as much damage. So you do that arrow, you hit it right in its kind of weak spot, and it's damage or exposed underbelly. You do 18 damage. So that Lapistray seems to be pretty pissed off now. All right, Riggs, it's on to you, and then Adelina.
I'm gonna kind of mumble under my breath about people not reading the room. And then I'll take a stab at it.
Okay. So you're gonna Riggs sullenly walks up and swings a sword. What's your D10?
7.
7. All right, you easily hit it. Now, may I ask which sword you're using in this encounter? Because you have both.
So, as a witcher, I would know which one would be most effective against a lapis tray, correct?
You would. It's the silver. Anything that's brought over with the conjunction of the spheres. So,
Okay. So that's
you
the
draw
one
your-
I would have drawn the silver sword.
yes. You draw your silver sword. You roll 4d6 and then add 2.
Okay. That's 2 6s, a 5, and a 1. So 12, 17, 18, 20 total.
All right, now do a whatchamacallit, 1d10 to figure out where you hit it.
3.
3. So you also hit it in its susceptible torso. All right, so Riggs walks up, still kind of huffing and puffing, draws his silver sword, kind of like a badass, and plunges it right into the lapis tray's torso, exposed torso. It quits its disgusting lobster riddling and dies.
Wow.
Take notes, Adelina.
Riggs.
So we know that this other monster, the Berberoka, is scared of these things. So let's take the body with us when we go and find it. So I'm gonna go and pick up the body of the lapis.
I'll help
So-
her.
Body of the lapis tray.
Quick question.
But Mike,
You said it was like 15 meters long.
yeah, I was just about
I'm
to
going to
say,
use my meat cleaver and my anatomy terminology and knowledge to chop it up into usable pieces. Maybe so that someone could wear it as armor.
Oh, that's a
Because I'm a
great
pretty
idea.
good crafter too.
all right, so that's going to take you. That's going to take you a little bit. So if you want to do that, you guys are going to have to pick it up and move it somewhere so you can take some time to do that. So I'm gonna require 2 people to roll physique checks to lift this thing and move it.
All right. I'll help
Hey,
lift it. Riggs will help.
All right.
Where's physique again?
Physique is under body. So roll a 1d10.
Yeah, well, I have 1 physique but 9 body, so how does that?
I can
I
help
got
carry it.
18
I have
total.
4 physique.
All right. So you have 18. Mike, what do you roll?
A 9, so that's
9.
19.
So you're pretty easily. You guys are both strapping young lads. You're pretty easily able to pick this up and move it. Where would you like to take it? You guys know where you are. Where would you like to take it?
Just like up the bank and out of the way.
Yeah, so that he can do whatever it is he wants to do to it. I don't know. This guy's weird.
I think it's
All right.
a fair idea.
Yeah, but he's got a
I
weird
know,
obsession with
Sara.
legs.
Well, this
I
is going
too
on.
am good at crafting,
called
and
being
I can
resourceful.
help you make this.
I'm gonna go down to the riverbank and let my pocket crayfish back into the water. Go like, be free. We found a better one.
So yeah, Mike, you know it's going to take you probably a couple hours to completely clean and prepare this dead animal. By that time, the sun will probably be setting. So you guys decide how you want to. Yeah, I mean, just saying now.
Well,
what
can
you
I
do.
chop it into more manageable pieces so that we can go back somewhere with shelter?
I mean, that's yes, you can, but even doing that's going to take you probably an hour or 2, and then
We
from
could
there
make
you have
camp
to.
here, couldn't we?
What?
We could just make camp here, right?
If you want, yeah.
Okay, you wilderness people, you guys make camp and I'll start chopping.
If I helped, would that like make it go faster?
What if we all just start hacking at it?
Well, no, that would ruin it, Meredith.
Alright, well then Zoe's gonna do an awareness check. If there's any monsters or anything floating in the river, any human remains, anything like that.
I have a concern.
What's up, Jess?
This oversized crab was the. I don't know what I'm trying to. These accents are all over the place. I can't do them. This oversized crab is the only thing keeping that Berber out of the village. What's going to happen now that we just killed it?
Thought there was more than one.
Bear rolled an awareness check to see if there was anything else around, and you don't see any other signs of movement. It seems like for right now the forest is still.
That's
so. Why don't we make the plan that like a couple people are going to watch? Saralyn and I are going to start going after this body so that we can make it into armor/bait, and then everyone else can kind of start setting up camp and or rebuilding the raft.
Point. Maybe you should consider going back to protect the village. Like maybe if Adelina's gonna stay and help chop up the monster, maybe since Riggs is our Witcher friend, maybe we can split up and some of us can go back to protect the villagers from this other monster. Not to attack it, just to guard them.
Yeah, no question though. Like, so we know that this Lapistro is the thing keeping the other monster away. How far are we from town?
You guys are probably a 20 minutes walk from town.
Okay, so not that far. Is this other monster gonna know like almost immediately that night that it can go wreak havoc?
I thought
you guys don't know enough about the monster to know that.
Here's a thought. What if we take the body back to town? Maybe at least just even having the corpse around will be enough to scare it off for the evening.
Jesse, you already have your defense. You have a giant, or not a giant. You have a little cross.
Well, I just said I let my little baby crayfish go because we found a new one.
Oh, rip!
What'd you say?
I said rip. That's sad.
He's not dead. I put him back in the water.
Here, I had to use the bathroom real quick while you guys are deliberating, so you guys can keep talking and form up a plan.
Well, doesn't the bigger monster have to go through like this area to get to the town to begin with?
If I'm looking at the map and understand it correctly, it could just cross the river and get into town.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still has to cross the river, so if we're in the general vicinity...
One that chooses to eat us instead.
True.
We can't just leave these people to fend for themselves against this thing.
Well, like, we're gonna go fight it.
What if it gives us the slip?
Well, I mean, we could split up, kind of go with Mare's plan. Like, Sara and I could start hacking away at this thing.
I think splitting up's a bad idea.
I agree.
Even I begrudgingly agree. If it is a Berberoka, those are not easygoing monsters.
So that's why I said, it'll take us some time to get back to town, but we can butcher the thing in town and accomplish both goals there.
Works for me.
We're gonna haul it back to town and then take it apart.
We got rope. We got strong backs.
Isn't the monster we're looking for out this way? It seems awful silly to go all the way back to town with this Lapistro.
And the monster is probably like 50
Still
feet
here.
from.
Yeah. I agree.
How long do we think would it take to just to hack off the head? Just the head.
Probably like 20 minutes.
Bro, I'm strong as hell and I have a meat cleaver. You telling me it's going to take me 20 minutes to take a thing?
If we use the boat, would it get us to town faster?
Yeah, I mean, it probably would, as provided you finish fixing it. Remember, you did not finish fixing it.
Okay.
I just vote we just go deal with this other monster.
I agree.
Butcher what we can from this this creature.
We can always come
and
back.
use it as bait almost.
All right,
Go,
like how
like,
much can I take?
So it's going to take you about 20 minutes to sever the head. The giant claws probably going to take you about 15 minutes each. Each of the individual legs will probably take like 5 minutes, and then if you want to get the big tail, and then fillet the rest of the armor off, that'll probably take you at least 45 minutes to an hour. So,
well, I'll just take just enough that I could cover myself with the exoskeleton.
You can't just like glue it. You're gonna have to come up with more.
You're gonna stay.
I know. I'm just saying I would take that much material that would be needed so that I could build it later.
Well, you have to decide how much that is.
All right, I'll take 6 feet.
I have
off.
Iron Man.
If you want to take enough that's going to cover you in armor, it's going to take you at least probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. Like I said.
Remember,
I'm a
he's
little
tiny
dude.
little thing.
I'm a little dude. I'm about half as everyone else.
All right, 45 minutes.
I'm doing it. Give me 45 minutes, guys.
All right, he's gotten the crab. Adelina, let's get our ride fixed up here, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish fixing up the ride.
So like the rats take that long.
You guys kind of go off to your tasks, and Dindrik just chuckles. He's like, "That was some of the most amazing sword work and bow work I've ever seen. If anything's scared of that bag of crabs, then it can't be that tough, right?" And he kind of laughs nervously.
I'm gonna look around for some more information about the Barbarossa.
Barbarossa.
Whatever it's called. Barbarossa.
All right, so how are you going to do that? How are you going to proceed?
I'm just gonna kind of look around for tracks to maybe get an idea of like a rough idea. Is it bipedal? Is it quadrupedal? Maybe just kind of look for clues.
Okay. Well, which way? Where are you going to be looking? That's important.
It was on the other side of the river?
Correct.
Well, then never mind. I guess I can't look.
Wait, what? What do you mean it was on the other side of the river?
We have to cross the river first, right?
Or in the boat.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why we need the boat fixed. So, yeah, I guess I can't. It wouldn't be over here, so.
Yeah, remember, Sarah Lynn, that's what the Lapistrays were keeping it on that side of the river.
Keep it away from the town.
Yeah, that's what the alderman told you.
Yeah. All
right,
I think I was.
What are you doing while these people are starting to work?
Who?
Phyrra. What is Phyrra doing?
You're muted again, Madison.
I unmuted myself. What the heck?
Oh, you're back.
Okay. Phyrra's kind of sitting back, watching this all go down, kind of muttering comments about how the guy with the pipe didn't help at all, and he's like, "Oh man, you guys are so great." She's kind of more irritated than anything.
It goes over Dindrik's head. He doesn't notice.
Because he's so short.
No, he's just not looking at you.
May I join Iroh in gutting the Lapistray? Just lean on my experience as the son of a fisherman to see what I can do.
You may.
Hell yeah.
And just kind of
Chat with the pipe smoking guy, just
Dindrik.
Just to see, because he's still kind of hanging around, but we don't know this guy. We don't know if he is who he says he is.
So he says, "That was some mighty fine bow shooting, ma'am. I don't think I've seen anything like that since I was back in Sedaris."
I why were you in Sedaris?
That's where I live.
Mike Lee story.
Shady or is he a regular guy?
I don't feel shady. I'm just a collector. I just want to go on the road. Speaking of which, actually, calls down to Riggs, who's kind of just surveying the banks, and he says, "I still have those Witcher oils. If you think you know what it is, I can give you some, but probably only one. I do need to make a living after all."
I can't.
What do you have?
Well, I don't have any. He takes out a bag and starts rustling through. He says, "I don't really have any elemental oil, or let's see here. Don't have any dragonoid oil. Let's hope it's not a dragon on the other side of that river. Don't have any first one. Seems like I have. Oh, here's some vampire oil. I have some relict oil. That's a rare one. I have some insectoid oil, and I have some hybrid oil. Yes, that's what I have. Oh, and looky here, I have some agroid oil as well. Vampire, agroid, relict, insectoid, and hybrid.
So what do I... Did I successfully identify the Berberoka and what it would be?
You, based off of your intuition, that's what you think it would be, yeah. But you don't know quite enough about it to know what class it would be and what weakness it is. You would have to kind of riddle out more what it is based off of first-hand investigation to figure that out. So while this conversation is going on, you guys hear what is unmistakably the sound of a deer being attacked. That kind of really loud, panicked screech, and then it's suddenly cut off. And it comes from the woods across the river, but it's loud enough and panicked enough that all of you guys stop what you're doing and you look over and mull.
Oh dear.
You can't place exactly how far away it is, but it's close enough that you all could hear it.
Oh, looks like it hasn't crossed the river yet.
Meanwhile, while all this other stuff's going on, I retrieve my throwing knife.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So
Keep the chat friends.
the river is probably like, I don't know, at this point it's probably 150 feet across. It's pretty wide across, and then the other bank, there's a forest pressed up against it, and then the road, which quickly disappears from view on the other side. So, yeah.
So let's hustle. That thing might...
There's our monster. Why don't we?
Yeah, let's go.
How much time do we have left to fix the boat and get our lobster armor?
You guys are at this point. You guys are just about wrapping this up. The sun's pretty low. You have maybe an hour of daylight left before twilight falls and night draws in.
Good stuff. Throw what we got in my bag and let's get moving.
Let's go get this monster.
So, Michael, if you cut off enough to cover your entire body in some kind of armor, you're going to probably be a little weighed down by this. Just so you know.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm taking one off of your dexterity as long as you're carrying all of this stuff. Because you haven't really retooled it yet. I mean, you might be able to boil the chitin down or do other stuff to it. It's kind of just a big hulking mass.
It smells terrible.
And yeah, it smells terrible. So
You look awesome.
It's
That's
not
a
armor yet,
strong
it's just
word
chunks.
for whatever this dwarf has done. It's
I
awesome
think
is
it's a good
not
idea.
the word.
It's gonna scare away this dude, and we're gonna beat him up.
All right, Mr. Dwarf, you can be in the front. I want to see you run at him, scare him away.
Oh, let's go towards the deer sound.
So
let's go.
So at this point, Saralyn finishes up fixing the the raft, and
You said
it's
that all up fit, right?
I never said that explicitly. No.
What is it? I'm sorry. What was that last part?
Mayor asked if all of us can fit, and I never said that explicitly. No.
I think you said that it wouldn't be able to hold all of us.
Did it? Okay. Well, yes, I maintain that. I couldn't remember if I said that or not. You guys are gonna have to try to reason out how many people it can hold.
Where was the deer sound?
That was
Across
from the river.
Okay.
With my sailing background, could I roll that to see if I have any sense of how many people that thing could safely take?
Absolutely.
All right. That'd be give me a better roll than I've been getting here. All right, so that's a 5 plus sailing of 3 plus a reflex of 8 would be 16.
Yep. So you reason it can probably fit about 4 people, but if you guys take from what you know about maneuvering the river, you guys are going to be going upstream. So it's gonna take you a little bit to take you a little bit more to take it all the way. But if you fashion some pole oars and take maybe another 20 minutes to do that, you'll probably be able to fit another person on, but that only brings you to 5.
Pass that information along here. That's so yeah. There's 7 of us plus Dindrik. We're looking at 2 trips regardless.
Not all necessarily have to go across. I mean, Dindrik isn't really a fighter. I can't.
Very true.
Can't do close, and since the river's only 150 feet wide, if you guys can draw it, close to the river, it's still within range for me to fire arrows at it, and that's the only thing I can really do in combat anyway. So the 2 of us can stay over here. We don't want to waste 20 more minutes of light.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start running at it.
At the boat?
No, like going towards the sound.
We haven't crossed the river yet.
Well, I mean, if it's across the river, then do we really need to go after it? It's not going near the people.
Well, I'm going after it. I'm going to get paid to kill that thing.
All right. So, Dwarf, we got the crab scraps. Let's bring them.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go on the boat.
I know how to drive the boat, so I'll come as well.
You could
I'll
probably
see myself
use
sit out here.
magic.
I have no interest in coming along on your journey.
You weren't invited anyway.
Piss off, elf.
If anyone wants to flirt or seduce Dendrick to get another oil to win Briggs over.
So you have room for one more.
How much for the relict oil? This is me taking a stab in the dark.
How much?
Yes.
Oh, nothing, sir. I don't charge in coins, but I figure you killing this monster now is doing me a favor that I wouldn't be able to pay you otherwise. So you take this now, but perhaps down the roads, if we are paths ever cross, I'll call on you again, and just know that this favor put a lot of coin in your pocket. Maybe you can do me another favor.
So what were the oils you had again?
He kind of sighs and looks exasperately and goes back through his monster oils. He's rummaging. He's not looking at a spreadsheet. He's rummaging through his pack. Yes, here we go. I have vampire, ogroid, relict, insectoid, and hybrid. Those are the 5. I
Vampire.
didn't come by them lightly, so I don't part with them easily.
What was the second one again?
Ogroid. Ogres,
Okay,
neckers.
okay.
Giants.
I will. I'll take the ogroid oil.
Very well. I hope it serves you and your purpose.
And you don't know anything about Berberokas that would help me choose correctly here, Mister. Mister.
In the children's tales, in Dindrik, sir, Dindrik.
You have knickknacks, so I think knickknacks is the better name.
Can't say that I appreciate that name. Kind of looks at you a little darkly. In the children's tales, these things kill men, and they suck up water to expose fish. And when men come looking to catch those fish, they kill the men. The only thing that can drive them away are lobsters. They're usually considered dark, mysterious figures that dwell in the woods near riverbanks. And I don't know. I guess it's a
Quick time out.
What?
During this whole conversation, can Sarah and I just try to tape as much or like tie as much of this armor stuff on me as possible?
So what?
This conversation's taking a while.
Piss off? What are you going to tie it on?
I have rope.
Okay, so you have 20 meters of rope, so you're probably going to have to cut it in half if you want to successfully.
Yeah, let's cut it into 4 or 5 foot sections, and then I've taken all the meat out. It's just the exoskeleton left, so let's do 2 arms and 2.
All right. Yep, you guys. So Mike, you have enough to cover your torso. Are you giving some to Adelina? Is that what you're saying?
I was saying she could help me fashion it on me probably and make it do a lot better.
Make it a little faster. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's just a bunch of like exoskeleton parts, so you just kind of lash it on yourself while this is happening.
I put a picture in the chat for those that are interested.
Yes. Yes.
Except for it's like the worst possible version of that because it's like half of that armor and you're making it by just taping a bunch of carcass onto yourself. So like
yeah, but I mean it's for the effect. We're trying to scare the thing.
Yeah. So yeah, all Dindrik finishes up by saying it's really up to your imagination how they look. I mean, my mother changed her description of a Berberoka. One time it was a witch, one time it was a man-sized ogre, one time it was a dog. It really depends. I'm sorry not to be of much more help. You can blame my mother.
All right.
He says.
I'm going to take the ogrid oil, and you have no idea how hard I am like forcing myself not to just look it up and metagame. All right? Appreciate this.
Well, you could metagame, but it wouldn't
It's not fun. I'm not going to metagame. That ruins the whole point. I didn't roll well. I don't know. So I will take the ogrid oil. Thank you.
Very welcome, sir.
Mr. Knickknack.
He says with a kind of an ominous smile, I'll be right here if you want to come back and try to take more off me. But like I said, I prefer you really didn't. And he says with a kind of he doesn't laugh and he kind of smokes his pipe with a raised eyebrow.
If you only prefer that I won't take more, then I'm going to take the relic oil too. Like, I don't care about your feelings.
Remember what I said about paying in favors.
Eh.
Bad idea.
It's a bad idea?
Weird.
Obviously, just renege on the favor.
What was that, Madison?
Obviously, just don't pay him back. But you're talking to a person that owes 800 crowns to somebody who's blackmailing me, so what do I know?
I'm not a good authority on debt either.
Get an oil favor free?
You can, yeah, you can try. I'll allow that. So let's see. Your seduction is 8.
Wants Riggs to like her.
I mean, he was pretty impressed by your bow shooting. So that is a total of 24 plus 1. And so Zoe, how are you going to try to seduce him? You have to RP this, baby.
She kind of old, and
She doesn't look old though. She's an elf.
she just saw to him and is like, all this talk of favor. I'm cute. Give me more oil.
Dindrik, who he kind of laughs and he says, I've been around a long time, but I can't say that in my many, many years in my profession I've ever had a bequest quite like that. Maybe I'll give you one more oil favor free. And after that, it'll cost you.
All right, Riggs, it's your choice, my friend. Can we be friends? Please like me.
I'll take the relic oil too.
Algroid and relic oil. Here you are, sir. He hands the 2 oils to you.
You're
He says, I'm sure I don't have to tell you how to use these. And then he closes his bag rather meaningfully and puts it behind him and continues smoking his pipe.
He's shady. You guys.
Guy's gonna make a living. He just gave you 2 very, 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 very valuable objects for free.
This guy's super shady.
All right. Well, if we've got enough sword oil stuff, and is the crab man ready?
Crabman is
yeah.
He's ready. All right. So remind me who's going on the raft across the river.
Me.
I am.
Crab
I'm
man.
steering the raft.
So that is Jesse, Madison, Christopher, Michael, and
Sara, I believe.
Sara. So that would leave Meredith, Minka, and Dindrik. Is that what I gather?
Yes.
So
Okay. All right. So go ahead and board and cross the river.
Do I need to roll for that, or are we just?
It'll make it faster.
All right. All right, that's a 6 plus base sailing of 3 for 9 plus reflux of 8 for 17.
Nice. So you guys never crafted those. Well, I guess I never made you roll to make you craft those stick oars, but let's just assume you did because I don't feel like retconning everything we just did. So you have some pole oars and you quickly navigate across this river. There's like a boulder in the way, and you get out of the way, and you manage to guide everyone into the other side with Minka, Zoe, and Dindrik watching approvingly.
All right, so we're safely across.
Yes.
All right. Can I take a look for any sort of tracks or anything that could be around?
You most certainly may.
So awareness is 18. I rolled a 3, so 21.
Okay. So as you guys are disembarking, Christopher, you notice that the bank on this side, it's very much like the bank on the other side, very, very sharp, and then the trees are at the top. And you notice at the top of the trees, one of the trees is a big old oak that looks like some of the bark on the side has been gouged out. So that's what you see.
Okay, can I use my Witcher training to maybe get some more information from that?
Sure, yeah.
So that's 16 plus 4 is 20.
So, I mean, you're standing at the bottom of a bank and you see a tree that's been gouged out. Your Witcher training tells you you probably need to get a little closer.
Okay, I will move closer to the tree. I'm sorry, I thought that was implied. I didn't know I needed to specify.
Yeah, of course you need to specify.
Okay, so I walk up to the tree and I check it.
Okay, so based off of since you rolled awareness check pretty high, as you walk up to the tree, because you specified it, thank you very much. You notice that it's not just gouged out. There appears to be old blood stains on some of the rocks nearby and soaked into the fabric of the tree itself. And they're very spatter-like. And based off of your Witcher training, a creature that would leave this much blood spatter, probably tore its victim apart. And typically things that do that are, you look around, you don't see any drag marks. Typically creatures that do that are killing for sport.
And if they're killing for sport, they're generally intelligent.
Yes.
Which would lead me to believe relict.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's up to your reason, my friend.
Okay. I guess I can't reason more. Get some more of that juicy DM knowledge.
So what I'll say is that there's intelligent creatures. Generally, what am I saying? Necrophage is the least intelligent, as is beast. Some beasts, but everything's a spectrum. So you would know that even in the insectoid class, insects are typically not regarded as the smartest of creatures, but perhaps there's smarter creatures than others. And in the beast class, you have dumb animals and smart animals. And so if there's one class of animals that's more intelligent than any, it's most likely vampires is the most intelligent. But you know that there's intelligent animals across the spectrum.
Okay.
All right. So meanwhile, Dindrik's looking at Zoe and Phyrra, his two elven maiden companions, and he looks across the river at Christopher, who's kind of just a blur looking at a tree, and he's like, what do you think they're doing over there? Do you think we should maybe go back to town?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere with you.
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say, I don't think
that.
we should be leaving.
I'm just suggesting. It was Dame Zoe, the murder elf, that said that the town is probably vulnerable now that the protective beast is killed. We can stay here and leave the townspeople up to their fate. I guess that's up to you.
The river.
Well reasoned, actually. Well reasoned.
Why are you trying to separate our group?
Yeah.
Shady man.
May I point out that it was you who separated your own group, and I have merely been helping you in smoking my pipe this entire time.
We didn't have a choice because only so many could fit on the boat.
Yes. Sorry that I made the boat too small, he says sarcastically. Oh, sorry. I forgot it was Minka, not on the side. It's Minka, not Phyrra.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, I won't fight you, but if we're setting up camp here, then set up camp I shall. And he whips some tent fabric. What? Oh.
Why can't they come back with the boat?
It doesn't look like they have any plans coming back to the boat.
Hello?
Minka, I think we should tie him up.
Yeah. But the rest of the people that are on the boat should have had a plan to come back and get us.
You can't communicate that to them now.
I understand that.
Okay, wait.
But they're not that dumb.
No, we're not on it.
I'm busy looking at this tree.
Help!
I'm just over here practicing my Zoidberg impression.
No.
Hand flute. That can only mean one thing.
Hold on. Our fire alarms are losing battery. Look at that.
Ironically,
It's the flute.
Yes, you have a lovely pan flute.
Okay.
it stopped. You need to change.
All right. So yeah, Dindrik continues to set up. He kind of ignores Minka and starts to set up camp, because he wants to have a plan.
So I guess we've got the boat sort of pulled up into the shore, and Riggs is looking at a tree. May I join and use wilderness survival to look for any sort of twigs or paw prints leading away from this blood splatter?
Yeah, roll for it. Maybe 6. Okay, sure.
5 plus 6 is 11 plus intelligence. That's a 20.
So you look around at the scene. You don't see any. Sorry, indigestion. You don't see any.
Thank you, Marka Kraus, for
prints
the
or anything.
sub.
They've probably been washed away in the rain.
How are
this
you doing?
blood, it seems pretty old, as you are able to tell. But what you do see off nearby on the side of the road is a little bit of celandine, the plant. And there's approximately.
So this is
well, let's see how much is there.
The Witcher TRPG that a friend of mine is doing.
4 sprigs of
I am playing
celandine,
Riggs
the
of
alchemical
Redania, The
ingredient
Witcher.
and plant on the side of the road.
It is great fun.
Well, I got nothing, but I'm going to take the shrubs, and I'm going to go gather the celandine.
Okay.
Sorry, what was it used for? I missed that.
It's an alchemical ingredient.
All right.
All right, what's everyone else doing? We have our 2 groups on either side of the river.
So I will be I'll kind of call Adelina up and kind of show her what I've noticed about the tree, the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't our kind of to go after the thing though, not just look at the damage that's already done?
I will say what you guys do know about that deer cry that you heard earlier. If there's woods on either side of this trail that hem in pretty close to the path, the sound came from the woods to the north of the path. I mean that was pretty evident. So
Maybe we should follow the woods to the north of the path where this deer is, so that we can go and kill this thing.
I like.
Can Zoe see them at all at this point?
Yeah.
Anymore? Like
if you guys are going to go into the woods, the minute that you go in, you will not be visible to the other 3 people on the other side of the river.
Then I say, Zoe, we just go back to town. Heck with them.
Yeah, I mean,
Deuces.
there's no point standing here ready to shoot arrows in the woods that I can't see.
Yeah, and they forgot all about us. Didn't think to come back and get us.
So you guys turn around and start heading north on the road back towards the crossroad. Dindrik, who at this point had just finished setting up his tent, he's like, wait a second, I don't want to be here alone at night. And he hastily starts tearing down his tent so he can follow you back to Millik. All right, five people. So what are you guys doing on the other side?
I say we go towards the deer sound.
Retweet.
I follow them.
Well, wasn't our plan to lure it here so that we could use the river as kind of defense?
Friend, this group of us hasn't had a plan since we locked down the town.
Well, I mean, that's why we left our long-range fighters on the other side of the river. I mean, look, I don't want to work with you people, but there are basic battle tactics in mind.
Ah, yes, like your famous 2-man formation.
I love it, Beetlejuice.
Now that we're approaching the northern woods, may I keep kind of like my eye to the trail and look for any kind of disturbances again.
So to be specific, I mean, as I said, the woods run right up to the path, the road to Lot. So when you guys got up on the ridge, you guys were basically on the side of the road looking at the first trees, but there is no like trail to the woods. The woods starts right at the path. So if you guys want to go into the woods, it's right there.
Well, we've come this far.
So
we've got a dwarf company crab, crotchety old butcher, and I'm too sober for this.
Look, I'm gonna head back to the river. Why don't the rest of you chase him that direction, and or chase it or try to lead it that direction? We can set up some sort of ambush.
If Riggs makes it back to the riverbank in time for Minka and Zoe to see him, they might consider staying.
Maybe.
That was our whole plan. I mean, we crossed the river with a whole plan. Why are we now diverting from that?
I don't remember this plan being spoken into existence.
Well, the whole reason was, this river's only so wide. So-and-so, the elf chick, the murder elf, I think she calls herself. That's a whole can of worms. Was going to shoot across the river at this thing. If we can't even see them, how is that going to happen? You all are welcome to do whatever you want, but you're about to fight a monster that you don't even know what it is, and you won't have your Witcher with you.
In theory, this thing should be terrified of me. So, in theory.
I think that's a good idea.
So, why don't the group of 5 of us, or whatever, we can kind of spread out to a point so we can locate it. Once we locate it, I can then go around and hopefully try to scare it towards the river.
Yeah.
But we should still go as a group so that if it isn't afraid of me, I don't just get eaten, because I'm also the only doctor.
Fair point.
Fair.
All right. How's about we form a bit of a picket line here, spread out. We'll keep the dwarf furthest to the east on us, so he can loop in and swing in and spook this Berber towards the water.
All right, I'm heading back to the river. Chase him there. That is where it will be most defensible.
We just planned.
Well, we have to relay this information to our other teammates. Look, I don't want to work with you people, but we can't just leave them on the other side of the river with this weird knick-knack guy.
Oh, now you don't want to leave people.
Look, if I'm forced into doing this, we're gonna do it right.
You guys are having this argument. Minka and Zoe, and I guess to a lesser extent Dindrik, who's finally finished unpacking his tent, or repacking his tent. You guys can see that this argument, you guys looked like you were about to head in the woods, and then you guys stopped to argue, and Minka and Zoe noticed this and kind of turned their heads to each other.
Now what are they talking about, Zoe?
They're thinking about coming back to get us, or maybe we should just stay and wait if they're not going to wander off and leave us after all.
We should probably keep an eye out.
All right,
but maybe at a more secure position.
All right, Zoe's going to do an awareness check to see if she can see anything creeping up on the 5 other people on the other side of the river. Since they're also busy arguing. Is there anything to be seen?
Zoe does not see anything, but then again, even with her elf eyes, it's difficult to see. And at this point, twilight has started to creep in. So everyone except for Riggs, your visibility is starting to be impaired a little bit.
I have some Noonwraith decoction if anyone would like to drink some.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to drink anything that you're giving out, man.
So this is well-known lore in the Witcher world, so I don't feel bad divulging it. Witcher potions and decoctions can
don't
only
tell
be
them.
drunk by this is well known.
Oh,
This is
I
not.
know. But they didn't. But the players didn't know.
Yeah, well, no, the characters would know, even if
I
the players
know.
that Riggs could say that, and the characters would be like, "Dude, what the hell? Are you trying to kill us?" So yeah, you can tell them that, but the characters would say, "No, that's stupid. We die."
Wait, so then if I can see in the dark, why is Noonwraith decoction a thing?
You can see, so you don't have perfect vision in the dark. You
Okay.
have better vision, but Noonwraith decoction allows you to see in like pitch black.
Got it.
But it's not pitch black.
So
I'll
like
go ahead. I'll go ahead and drink it. It's nighttime.
Okay. Well, no. So the Noonwraith decoction, you gain immunity to stun and blindness, but cannot be knocked prone. So it's not strictly saying gives you like complete visibility. You can already see pretty well in the dark. Again, not in pitch black, but the Noonwraith decoction is it grants you a different kind of immunity. It doesn't increase your vision anymore.
I just looked it up in the rules that you sent, and I thought it said something different, but maybe I'm wrong. I must be wrong.
I'm going to. Hold on, let me just go to decoctions real quick, because I just had it up. Page 248 has decoctions. Yeah, Noonwraith, you gain immunity to stun and blindness and cannot be knocked prone.
Okay, I don't know what I was reading then.
I don't either, actually.
Let me find it. Oh, on the Witcher skill tree on page 70. Under decoctions, it says your eyes change and you aren't affected by light conditions.
That's so transmutation. If you look down on the skill trees under the mutant skill tree, that is
okay.
Yeah, so that's a product of transmutation. So you would only get that effect. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And that's also, so that would make you be able to see in pitch black, but also in really blinding light too, you'd be able to use that. But that's only if you garner that skill.
Got it. Okay.
I'm assuming you no longer take the decoction.
Yes, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. All right, find your crotchety witch. Hang out by them the river then. Watch forward. We'll still try to spook it from the woods.
I'm just trying to
lure it down into the river where Riggs is, and Riggs can jump out and attack it when it gets to the river. Good.
That sounds like a good plan.
And Minka and Zoe, you guys are staying on that side?
Yep.
Yeah.
Minka, you're okay with that?
Yep.
All right. Dindrik kind of looks between the two of them and is like, you know what? I thought I'd be safer with you guys, but you guys are all crazy, and I'm going back to the village where it's safe. I'll meet you guys
bud.
there. I can't wait to hear about all of your mighty adventures. All right. So you guys, this is it's probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Twilight has settled on the land. You can still see in the woods, especially where it's patchy, but visibility's not the best. So you guys are going to take a -1 to all of your initial combat hits because you guys don't have the best ability, except for Christopher, who's still up and at him. All right, so you guys, approximately how far apart are you guys spaced?
I mean, how you said so? Visibility is starting to take a hit.
Yeah.
I'd say just close enough that we can see each other.
10 meters.
Okay, so being in the woods, especially, this is a kind of a thick old wood. You guys are gonna kind of patch in and out of being able to see each other because when you're in the woods, it's really hard to get direct line of sights to people.
Okay. Well, like whatever. Then there would still be like a distance where we would be patching in and out of, right?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
So then that distance, that would be.
In terms of order, from closest to the river to farthest away from the river, how are you guys walking? So it's Madison, Michael, Jesse, and Sarah Lynn. From basically west being closest to the river and east being the farthest away, what is your order?
Well, I think we should have the crab man furthest to the east, since we're trying to scare him.
I agree.
I agree. Go second.
I guess I'll be a third then in the middle.
I will be fourth.
All right. So Madison, you are Phyrra, the elf mage, is closest to the river. Do you think you're close enough to actually see or hear the river?
I'm about 2-3 meters up.
Okay.
Because
so
I'm still freaked out from this lapis ray encounter.
So you're at the top of the bank, and you're probably close enough that you can see it through a couple trees, but it's patchy. So every once in a while, you go by some shrub, and you can't, and it goes out of sight. And then Jesse is, 10, 12, or 20, 30 meters to the east, which is again pretty damn far in the woods. So you can only see him occasionally, so on and so forth. So you guys can definitely hear each other, but you can only spottily see each other, especially now as it's getting dark. The woods is pretty flat, so there's no real height advantage here. Maybe there's a rock outcropping that you guys will find, but all right. So you go along. Minka and Zoe are posted up on the other side of the river, and you start to walk. And you walk. Now, the woods is quiet, even to your untrained ears. It's quiet. Not a lot going on. You're straining to hear maybe the cry of the deer or even the cry of a bird, but nothing. At this point, you'd even settle for seeing Dindrik's apparently sketchy face. But it's empty. And it's foreboding. And after about 15 minutes of walking, very tense walking, Sarah Lynn, who's probably 90 meters in, give or take, sees something in a clearing, very small clearing just up ahead. Looks like there's something in the middle of the clearing.
Alert the others.
All right, so how are you going to alert the others? I guess just
It'd be like, hey, there's something in that clearing.
So, unfortunately, if you're going to alert anyone, you're going to have to speak up a little bit, and if you want to alert everyone, you're going to have to shout.
So
that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, Sarah, why don't you just come tell the one that's trying to scare it so I can get around it?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk, run, jog up closer to Iroh. Do you see the thing in the clearing?
So you're gonna run in his direction.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to. I'm gonna make you pass. Either you're gonna have to try to track him down a little bit, because at this point, you guys are walking parallel. So if you all of a sudden start doing perpendicular, you're not exactly on his trajectory. You also can't really see him super well. So you're gonna have to try to track him down a little bit if you want to find him.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
So what's I mean, you know your skills. What might you use to track him down?
Deduction? Because I know, in theory, where he should be.
That's well enough reason. You figure out the math of how fast you think his little dwarf legs are going, and
Look at that roll.
Dungeon.
And you figure once you get close enough to his reeking carcass-covered being, you can smell him. So, yeah, you run off. You have to kind of go around the clearing, but you do run up, and you smell him before you see him, but you find him.
Hey, found the thing, I think.
Cool.
That was like A1 roleplay conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd say we go in there and we can go on opposite sides of the clearing, right? I can be on the side closer to the river, and then you can come up on the opposite side away from the river. And I can like lure it with like being like a tasty human. You
Yeah, here I can give you.
like
I'll give you the leg in case you need it.
Yeah.
I'll give you the leg in case you need it, and then you can go and warn the others, and I'll try to get around behind it to the point where I can jump out, surprise it toward.
Yeah.
Minka's glad
For
she
anyone
can't
just
judge
now
this.
joining in,
And then
Iroh,
we're also going to come up with some sort of
the
signal
dwarf,
so you
who's
know
wearing
it's
the
a-
armor made of
Sounds good.
lobster,
Yeah, signal.
has a human leg from a previous encounter.
Mike, would this creature be susceptible to being alerted by us faking an owl call?
That'd be kind of. I would roll once you guys do it. I would roll an awareness check for this creature, and
All right.
Great. Wait, you think I should go find the others?
Yeah, so you four can kind of plan on attacking it once I scare it towards the river. You guys can, because I'm moving it to where we need it,
They
so that
should
we
go
can.
back
Start.
towards the river. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Sounds good. You go get into position. I'm gonna go find it. Do I have to roll another deduction check to find the others?
absolutely. And just to keep in mind, you ran away from Jesse and Madison, so now you're running back towards them, and they've already continued to march onwards on their lonesome. And for Jesse and Madison, you guys have not come across anything yet, and you're getting a little bit more worried because, at least Madison knows from seeing the river on the other side of the river, things are starting to clear up, which means that you're getting kind of close to the village. Okay, Saralyn, what is your deduction? All right, so you run towards where you think Beetlejuice might be, and at this point you're north of the clearing, and you do manage to see him and kind of flag him down.
Cool.
I assume that you just relay the entire plan to me for the sake of brevity here. All right, so I stay here. I'm gonna scamper off to try and catch. Who's on the farthest left now? To catch Phyrra and relay this. I guess could I roll? I mean, can I still see her? Or should I roll wilderness survival to try and find her?
You can roll wilderness survival. You can't. At this point, it's been about 30 minutes, and it's getting pretty dark in the forest now. You guys, Saralyn's very lucky to have found you at all.
At 20.
20. So, based off your wilderness survival, you can't see her as much as you can hear her. And you're close enough to her. I mean, you guys were right next to each other. You're close enough to her that you can kind of hear her creeping through the brush to your west, to the northwest, kind of muffled by the sounds of the river. So if you want to go retrieve her, you can catch up to her.
Yeah, I'm gonna go flag her down.
Okay.
Oh, you scared me, man.
All right. the wee one found the Berber Derber Derber. The dwarf has the thing on. He's gonna spook it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like tasty human lore to like it'll run after me. I should go down to the river and be ready for a fight.
Okay, so during all this, I'm kind of going around the backside of the creature.
Okay. So right now, Michael, you're closer to the clearing than anyone else, and they're all kind of Sarah Lynn's guiding them back to the clearing.
Okay, so does that mean, like, where is the clearing in relation to the river?
So the clearing is, since Sarah Lynn found it, it's probably like 90-ish meters east of the riverbed. I mean, it's a decent hop.
Okay, so I'm like a little more perpendicular, but more behind it, so that I can scare it towards the river and the people at this point.
So you're coming in from the east slowly as the rest of them are coming in from the west.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna attempt to do our little signal.
All right. I don't even know what to make you roll for this.
I mean, honestly, we probably don't even need one. They'll hear it probably, whatever happens.
I'm gonna make you roll a wilderness survival to try to replicate the call of an owl. But I mean, owls are pretty well known, so you can probably do it pretty easily. But you still got to roll for it.
All right, so I have a wilderness survival of 1, but an intelligence of 9.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a 12.
So, as you see the clearing, you can't really quite make out what's in it, but you know you're close. So you fake an owl call. It's pretty much the worst owl call anyone's ever heard, but it does kind of pass for an owl. And so let's see if whatever's in the clearing is discerned. So you can't really tell if what's in the clearing. Nothing happens in the clearing, so you can't really tell if you alerted this creature or not.
Do my friends hear the call?
Yes,
Yeah.
they hear.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready.
So you obviously have a couple of options. You can go ahead and try to ambush it. You can go in swords blazing. It really depends on how you want to approach the situation.
Well,
We're trying to get it back.
we kind of talked about was that I'm going to come out click clacking all crab-like and scare it towards the river where they'll be waiting.
Okay. So you're just so the other people are just on the other side of this clearing waiting to intercept the monster. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, so I'm scaring it. It's going to be in like flight mode, and then they're going to attack it while it's attempting to run from me, and hopefully have its guard.
Okay. So how far away are the rest of you approximately from this clearing? Can you see it?
Yeah.
I'm the furthest away. I don't know if I can see it.
No, Christopher, you don't know what's going on at all. You didn't hear or see any of this. You can see Zoe and Minka on the other side of the river, but they at this point can kind of barely see you because it's probably been about an hour and it's dusk. So they can kind of see your outline in the darkness. I mean, they're looking across the river in the darkness between a couple of trees. They can't really see a lot too well, but they do know that you're still there. And they're wondering why the hell no one's come back to get them, but here they are.
And the 5 of us, including Christopher, we all still know the general plan. So, like, even though Chris might not have heard that it's put in motion, he knows what's going to happen. So, like, he'll notice the commotion and know what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, so I think it's about time I jump out, click clacking, war crying, making noise, and trying to act all big as I can.
In a lobster.
You're a 3-foot lobster.
I'm a lobster.
Rock lobster.
So Michael, you this is ridiculous. You emerge in the tree from the trees saying I'm a monster. Are you
It's like a
Iroh?
Zoidberg impression.
I have to know which one you are.
I think I'm currently Iroh right now, but if things get violent quickly, it will turn into.
Okay, so your heart is pounding as you go to confront this unknown creature in the clearing, and as you emerge from the trees into the clearing, you see that it is just a dead deer that's been bisected violently. There's blood everywhere. Intestines are trailing all over the ground. This deer was killed violently, and from the smell of it, pretty recently.
Are we sure that the smell is the deer?
Excuse me?
Are we sure that the smell is the deer and not me?
Well, you can't tell, but
I'm gonna kind of step out into the clearing, kind of scratching my head, saying, "Geez, I swear I thought it was the monster."
all right. So just as you are doing that, you hear another scream. This time it's not the scream of a deer, it's the scream of a human, and it's coming from towards the village.
Oh, jeez.
And I think that's a good place to end here for tonight.
I agree.
Yikes.
Messed up.
Did we get as far as you thought we would?
No, I think he expected to get about 3 steps past this.
No, I wasn't sure exactly how you guys would tackle it, but I can definitely tell you it did not involve strapping lobster carcass and steering it towards the river.
You gotta know your audience, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. Interesting, very interesting.
Minka, why do I feel like that you guys getting attacked?
Why do I feel like the creepy guy is the monster?
I said maybe he's a vampire.
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Well, he also was on your side of the river when you heard the deer being attacked.
Maybe there's multiple vampires.
All right, so that's where we
Me-
leave off. You guys, what?
No, I was going to say Minka and Zoe become fast friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a criminal and a murder elf.
Boredom and loneliness.
Your shared hatred of everybody
else in the group.
All right, so that's where we're gonna leave off. You guys met this character Dindrik and invited him along with you. He provided you with Ogroid and relic oil, thanks to Zoe's seductive insistence. Sarah Lynn managed to fix up the raft and get you guys across, but not before Phyrra and Riggs helped dispatch the Lapistray. Your guys' plan to corral the monster towards the river, well, I guess you could say it did work in a way. Just didn't work exactly how you had planned. So, all right. You guys, next week we'll have to deal with the consequences of your actions and see if you can't figure out what this beast is and how to stop it.
To be fair, I don't know if there are consequences because it's not like we're a police force or any sort of protecting thing. Like, we're just travelers that happen to find a contract to kill this thing. So, like, do we really care? Like, we're in it for.
I mean, I want the money.
Every action has a consequence.
I don't know. I seem to get some pretty cool armor out of this.
You've also,
well, you
that
are
armor
starting
came from
to
the
smell.
creature that was protecting the village, so
Yeah, but it also killed people.
a lot. You don't know that.
Yeah, we can put 2 and 2 together based on what the kids said and the other dudes.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been fun, y'all. I will give everyone. I think everyone participated pretty well today. I'll give everyone an improvement point, and We will continue
Ooh.
next week.
Alrighty.
Cool. See you guys next week.
Bye
Take
for
care.
now.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael Klupper.
Of course. It was a lot of fun. You guys did a lot of stuff.
Thank you all for watching. That's been another week of the Monster of Millik. So hopefully next week we can finally solve this mystery. So make sure you tune in 7 p.m. EDT here on twitch.tv/superfly310. It'll be a fun time. And don't forget, tomorrow I've got a giveaway celebrating 14 months of streaming. We will be giving away this copy of Life is Strange Before the Storm limited edition. So make sure you check that out. It is sealed. It is for PS4. It is brand spanking new, and it could be yours. Just stop by tomorrow between 9 and 11 p.m. I will be doing the drawing at 11 p.m. EDT. So if you want to get your chance, make sure you stop by. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be playing some more Sonic 06. Yikes. So I hope you're ready for that struggle fest. Have a good night. Behind you.